Ever wanted to learn something new, like a language, an instrument, or a creative skill, but felt totally overwhelmed? Maybe you thought, I'd love to learn this, but it'll take years. What if that's not true? What if you could go from knowing nothing to being surprisingly competent in just 20 hours? Not 10,000, not hundreds, just 20. And this isn't some productivity hack or internet myth. It's grounded in solid neuroscience and real-world results. A while ago, during a long winter lockdown, someone stared at a guitar gathering dust in the corner of their room. It was an old dream, a skill they always meant to learn. But like many of us, life got in the way. Work, stress, procrastination, the usual routine, I'll start next week. But one day, they decided to experiment. Not with perfection, not with big goals, just with 20 focused hours. The result? They could play actual songs, not flawless but recognizable, rhythmic, and real. And even better, confidence grew, not just in music, but in the idea that they could learn anything. You've probably heard that it takes 10,000 hours to master a skill. That idea became legendary after Malcolm Gladwell's best-selling book Outliers. But here's the truth behind the headline. The 10,000-hour figure came from research by psychologist Anders Ericsson. He studied elite-level performers, Olympians, chess grandmasters, world-class musicians. His findings? That it takes about 10,000 hours of deliberate, structured practice to reach the top 1% in those hyper-competitive domains. But somewhere along the way, that message got distorted. People started thinking, you need 10,000 hours just to be decent at something. And that false belief has stopped millions from ever getting started. Here's what research actually shows. The fastest improvements don't come after thousands of hours. They come early. In the first few hours of focused effort, your brain makes rapid connections. You go from clumsy to competent faster than you think. It's like learning to ride a bike. You wobble, you fall, but suddenly, something clicks. That early acceleration is why 20 hours of targeted practice can take you further than most people imagine. And the best part? You don't need to wait years to enjoy the rewards. So how do you make the most of those 20 hours? You don't wing it. You use a method. Step 1. Deconstruct the skill. Break it down into smaller components. Instead of learn guitar, think learn 4 chords. Step 2. Learn just enough to self-correct. Don't binge-watch tutorials. Learn a little, then do. That's how your brain builds feedback loops. Step 3. Remove distractions. This step is huge. Phones, notifications, TV, they pull your brain away from deep focus. Turn them off, even if it's just for 30 minutes. Step 4. Commit to at least 20 hours. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up. 45 minutes a day for a month is enough to shift your identity from I can't to I'm learning. Let's say you want to draw realistic faces. Sounds overwhelming, right? But what if you focused on one small piece, like drawing a single eye? You watch 2 tutorials. You practice a few times. You learn the basic structure: eyelid, pupil, reflection, shadow. Then you move to the nose, then lips. You sketch basic outlines. You experiment. Each part becomes a win. You're not just doodling. You're building a foundation. After 10 hours, your portraits start looking, well, human. By hour 20, they have expression, style, life. You haven't just learned drawing, you've built confidence. So what's going on in your brain during those first 20 hours? One word: neuroplasticity. That's your brain's ability to rewire itself based on experience. Every time you struggle, correct, and try again, your brain releases acetylcholine, a powerful neurochemical that tells it, pay attention, this is important. Your neurons start making stronger connections. Patterns form, movements get smoother, ideas become clearer. The early-stage discomfort is actually the signal that your brain is changing, adapting in real time to meet the challenge. Want to boost this effect even more? Move your body. Even light exercise, like walking or stretching, primes your brain for learning. It improves blood flow, increases oxygen, and triggers the release of dopamine and norepinephrine, chemicals that sharpen your focus and motivation. One study showed that just 20 minutes of moderate exercise before a learning task dramatically improved memory retention. So before you sit down to learn, do some star jumps. Go for a brisk walk. Even balancing on one leg for 60 seconds helps. Movement activates your mind. And now, the most underrated tool for rapid learning: sleep. While you sleep, your brain organizes, sorts, and stores what you've learned. It's like hitting save on all that hard work. If you skip sleep, you interrupt the memory transfer process. If you prioritize rest, your learning solidifies. And here's a tip: even short naps can boost learning. One study showed that a 90-minute nap after a learning session helped participants retain more than a full night of rest without that session. Sleep isn't a luxury, it's the second half of practice. Ever notice that you sometimes improve after you stop practicing? That's real. During breaks, your brain plays back what you've learned, subconsciously, at high speed. In one famous study, piano learners who took 10-second pauses improved up to 20 times faster than those who practiced nonstop. And mistakes? They're not a sign of failure, they're a sign of learning. Errors trigger attention. They make the brain go, wait, what went wrong? If you use that moment to adjust, your brain responds by building stronger connections. So lean into the struggle. That's where the real growth happens. The biggest obstacle to learning isn't time, it's emotion. We're afraid of looking dumb, of failing, of realizing we're not naturally talented. But here's the truth: everyone starts bad. Everyone. It's not a flaw, it's a stage. The people who succeed aren't smarter, they're just more comfortable being beginners. They push through the awkward phase, and that's where the magic happens. So let's reframe what's possible. 20 hours isn't a lifetime. It's 45 minutes a day for a month. That's less time than you probably spend scrolling TikTok or watching TV. Instead of binging a show, you could be learning guitar. Instead of scrolling, you could be sketching your first portrait. Or baking, coding, dancing, designing, whatever lights you up. The time will pass either way. Why not pass it with progress? And remember, success doesn't mean mastery. It means improvement. It means confidence. It means unlocking a skill that's been sitting inside you, unused for years. Learning something new changes how you see yourself. You're not just someone who wants to learn, you're someone who does. 20 hours can reshape your identity, and that shift can last a lifetime. So here's your challenge. Pick one skill. Write it down. Commit to practicing it for 20 hours. That's it. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. Because once you begin, everything changes. Now I want to hear from you. What's your 20-hour skill? Something you've always wanted to try but kept putting off? Tell me in the comments below. I'll be reading every one. Make it public. Make it real. And let this be the first step in your next great learning story.